Wake up in the morning, we don't say thank you. We gotta handle business, we don't care about you. From the AM to the PM, we be doing what we do. We don't make no time for you, we don't make no time for you. But here comes trouble, comes grief, comes pain. All of a sudden, we remember your name. Calling you will speed down so we can explain. Oh, what a shame. 'Cause I was on my knees, begging the Most High, please. Father, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Promise I will change. Promise I will be a righteous man. Live a righteous man. You won't see. You could have left me down and out. These demons were tormenting me. I tried to scream, I tried to shout. These demons had a hold on me.
I'm glad they talk every day, man.
Telling
Back
me
to
what
back.
to do and say. How to move and how to behave. At first it was sick, at first it was great. But then it got dark, now I see that it's fake. Demons playing with my feelings. Money in the bank, but I feel so broke. Demons playing with my feelings. Highly blessed, I feel so low. Demons playing with my feelings. Would anyone listen if I go? Demons playing with my feelings. Father, help, my mind's gonna blow. Hey, you rise me up and you wash me down. Took off my rags and you gave me a crown. My mind is strong, my mind is sound. And now I'm smiling, no more frowns. Yeah.
Thank you, Father, you're the best. Your tender love is my strength.
You shine
Something
light
into
into
my
my
darkness.
Oh,
And now I'm free and now I'm blessed. Now I did it down. Now I'm free and now I'm blessed. 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 Oh. Shabbat Shalom, Fixable fam. Shabbat Shalom to all my peoples out in YouTube. So tonight we want to welcome you to week 28 of the transformation of the so-called black man, of the so-called African American man. So tonight I'd like to give all praise and honor to Ahaya Bahashem Yeshai, Royal Walk. And for those of you not familiar with the Hebrew, that is all praise unto the Most High, in the name of Christ as well as the Holy Spirit. Once again, I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to week 28 of the transformation of the so-called black man, of the so-called African American man who's from the tribe of Judah for the nation of Israel. Shabbat Shalom, Mishpach. Good seeing y'all on with us tonight, man. It means the world to see y'all here with us tonight. Shabbat Shalom to all the family out there tonight. Shabbat Shalom, Trina. We thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your busy schedule. We know you could have been anywhere in the world tonight, so due to the fact you took time to join us, we do not take your time for granted. We pray and hope that you've had a blessed week. Pray and hope that the Most High is with you. Pray and hope that all is well with your families. And pray and hope that you came here tonight seeking a word from the Most High, because there is one for you. We pray and hope that all of the things that have hindered you or concerned you this week, you have took the time to lay aside those things. You understand? And that you're coming in tonight with an open heart and open mind, ready to hear what thus says the Most High. Because we know that there's so much turmoil going on in the world right now, so much adversity. Some of you were dealing with drama and trouble on all sides. You understand? But I pray that tonight, that with everything that is seemingly against us, that you would grab hold to what is actually going on for us. You understand? And without allowing that to be what you hold on to tonight. So once again, we thank the Most High for each and every one of you being here tonight. And we are truly excited about seeing you out here. Tonight we have a lesson that I know is going to touch the hearts of many people. It's going to resonate in the minds of many. Because in this truth, oftentimes our people really feel alone. They really feel like they're living on an island outside of everybody else. And I, a short time in this truth, have seen many people walk away. I've seen a lot of people, give up. And I've seen a lot of people say, you know what, Shabbat Shalom, Miss Vernita, good seeing you on with us tonight. I've seen a lot of people say, you know what, if this is what the truth is, I don't want no parts of it. So tonight, we're going to talk about the nice lessons entitled, Living by Faith When No One Has Faith in You. Living by faith when no one has faith in you. Living by faith. That's right. Living by faith when no one has faith in you. That's right. A lot of us, Shalom, good seeing you on with us today. A lot of you, Shabbat Shalom, Ms. Park, good seeing you on with us tonight. A lot of us are standing by yourselves. A lot of you are standing by yourselves. The only people that you have are the ones that are in arm's reach in your homes. Some of you don't even have that. Some of you don't have a community at all. You don't have anyone to talk to. You don't have anyone that you can call. You don't have anyone that you can relate to at this point in your life right now. And the most difficult part of it is that you have to live by faith, because nothing that you're seeing is telling you that you're on the right path. I'm reminded of a quote that Harriet Tubman said. She said, yes, I was able to free a lot of people, and I would have been able to free a whole lot more if they knew that they were slaves. And I remember when I heard that, I was like, yo, that's crazy. That in the midst of everything that was going on with our people at that time, that they didn't even realize that they were slaves. That they had got so accustomed to it that they thought this is who they were. And then when I heard that, when I read that, rather, I started looking around at my own situation and my own people, and then it made sense. That if our people really knew the conditions in which they were in, we could free a whole lot more of our people. That if they really understood the depths of the entrapment and the strength of the bondage that they're currently in right now, when it comes to our family and our loved ones, the people that we went to church with, we will be able to help a whole lot of those people come out of those situations. But because they don't recognize it, because they feel that they have all these freedoms that the so-called Constitution gives them, that they feel like because of their currently state that they can travel and buy whatever they want and go here and go there and do this and do that. Our people really believe that they're free. You understand? Living by faith when no one has faith in you. Some of you right now are in complete turmoil because everyone that means something to you in your life have walked away from you. You've been laughed at. You've been ridiculed. You've had doors slammed in your face. And then now, because some of you are so early in this truth, or so early in this walk, when you can't even accurately or articulate it, what you're doing enough to suffice people, no one around you has faith in you. And you're starting to lose faith in yourself. Tonight I pray and hope that through this Holy Spirit that we're able to encourage you tonight. Knowing that we're not giving this lesson from on a mountaintop. You understand? Knowing tonight we're giving this lesson in the trenches with you. That many of us have people who don't believe in us anymore. But yet we still must walk by faith and do the work of the Most High. So if you got some people that you know need to hear this word, I pray that you bring them on with you tonight. I pray that you invite them on, share this, do watch parties. You don't often hear us make statements like that. But I think tonight this is going to be something that's going to be a blessing for Israel, that's going to encourage and empower Israel. And I want us to stand tonight on this Sabbath together. Let's get into it. Let's go to Matthew, Salaki. Let's go to Sirach, the first chapter. And I need you to hold that. And need you to get Matthew the 13th. Sirach, the first chapter. For those who don't have an apocrypha, you can go get you a separate phone or laptop or tablet, and you go to Google. You put in Sirach, S-I-R-A-C-H, and put in chapter 1. Sirach, the first chapter, and then get Matthew 13 ready because we're going straight there. Living by faith when no one has faith in you. Sirach, the first chapter, D. Let's start there, verse 18.
The fear of the Lord is a crown of wisdom, making peace and perfect health to flourish.
Read that again, D.
The fear of the Lord is a crown of wisdom.
The fear of the Lord, ladies and gentlemen, is a crown of wisdom. Do you understand, ladies and gentlemen, that so much is given unto you simply by first having a fear, which that word fear does not mean afraid of. It means a reverence. It means an understanding. It means a posture of worship of the Most High. That comes with a crown of wisdom. You see, ladies and gentlemen, the real reason that many people will never be able to understand this truth is because they don't equate the Most High. They don't give him the honor that he is due. And it's because of religion has taught people to basically, create a creator that works for you. You understand? Religion allows you to just, basically go in how they do, like a pizza. You know what I'm saying? You got many toppings there, and you can just, put it on how you want, and this is what you want. So with many people with religions, they got these, they can just create a creator that fits them. If I'm into fitness and I'm into food, got a creator that talks about that. If I'm into getting money and prosperity, I got a creator I can fix over here for that. If I'm over here about family and love, I got a creator that talks about that. Whatever, you know what I'm saying, whatever you're into, we can make our God be that. But read what he said there. What Sirach is saying there. He said what? Sirach 1:18 says what?
The fear of the Lord is a crown of wisdom,
It's a crown of wisdom. Go ahead.
making peace and perfect health.
It does what?
Making peace and perfect health to flourish.
It makes peace and perfect health to what?
To flourish.
To flourish. Go ahead.
Both which are the gifts of God.
You see that? So this is the reason why people get sick and can't get healed. This is the reason why people in constant turmoil and stress and overwhelmed. Because these things come from the Most High. These doesn't come from these, in these Walmart, Amazon versions of God that people creating. You understand? Go ahead, verse 19.
And enlargeth their rejoicing that love him.
Read that last part again. It says what?
And it enlargeth their rejoicing
It enlarges their rejoicing.
that love him.
That who?
That love him.
That love him. Well, we know 1 John 5:3 says that the love of the Most High is what? To keep his commandments. So the ones that are getting their joy enlarged, they're rejoicing in their hearts enlarged, are only the ones who are keeping the commandments of the Most High. The ones who are not are forced to deal with problems on their own. Go ahead, verse 19.
Wisdom reigneth down skill and knowledge of understanding.
Wisdom that comes from the fear of the Most High reign what?
Down skill
Skill
and knowledge
of
understanding.
understanding.
Standing and exalting them to honor that hold her fast.
You see that? Do you see that package deal that comes with fearing the Most High? Watch this. I'm going somewhere with this. Go ahead.
The root of wisdom is to fear the Lord,
Mhm.
and the branches thereof are long life.
You see that? You see that? Watch this. Go ahead.
The fear of the Lord driveth away sin.
Read that again.
The fear of the Lord driveth away sin.
So once you develop that fear of the Most High, it not only gives you the prosperity and the peace, but that fear that you have, that reverence that you have, that worship mentality that you have, drives away sin. And what else?
And where it is present,
And where it is present,
it turneth away wrath.
it turns away the wrath of the Most High. You can't tell me that America is a nation after the Most High's heart when they're constantly dealing with the wrath of the Most High. You understand? Watch this, though. Watch this, though. Now, let's go to Matthew 13. Now, I need y'all to see this because I need y'all to get into this before we get into the real meat of what we want to bring out tonight. I want to encourage you because I know you guys are dealing with straight hell. It's hard to get through life when you got a crowd and a bunch of people with you. It's really difficult when you can't depend on nobody. When the things that are troubling you, the things that you are pondering on, the things that you're trying to figure out, the only one you got is maybe your man's or your wife or your husband. Some of you don't even have that. Some of you, your household is split now. Right now, your children are not understanding. Your father and your mothers are looking at you. Your brothers and your sisters are saying, "What's going on?" Best friends are saying, "Yo, man, what happened to you?" And on top of that, you got to live by faith. Living by faith when no one has faith in you. You understand? So I want to encourage you before we get into this thing to understand what perspective that you're working from. Because as long as you are looking at this thing from a defeated position, you're not going to be able to grasp what the Most High is giving you, what really actuality that you are blessed. You understand? Because when you don't understand where you at and where you are, you will be looking at this as a burden, as a obligation, as a terrible thing. We need to make sure we deal with that before we get into the meat of this thing. right? And that's why I want to go to Matthew 13. Matthew 13, deep, let's start there at verse 10.
And the disciples came and said unto him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables?
Now, if you go back and read verses 1 through 9 here, you'll see Yeshaya dealing with them, talking about the parable of the sword. And he was talking about that the sword comes, and we know the parable of the sword was talking about he comes with the word of the Most High, right? And so the disciples was wondering, like, why you ain't making it plain like you be doing when it just be us over here talking, right? And so a lot of times I understand that many of you sometimes, I talk to many of you individually, and sometimes people will come to us and ask us questions, especially during Transformation Tuesday. Some people hit us up in the inbox, call us, email us, whatever the case may be, and I can have regular conversations. I can take the hat off and we can just sit down and talk. And then people are like, yo, that's real. I never looked at it like that. But then they'll come on the Sabbath lessons and we don't hear, boom, 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 precept, boom, 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 boom. And people are like, yo, I'm just saying, like, you should just be doing it that way then. I'm like, nah, I can't do it that way because you have to understand, number one, everybody that's watching through social media don't have an agenda. Okay, everybody not coming to learn, and this is what Yeshaya was dealing with. Everybody that was coming around Yeshaya wasn't coming to learn. Some of them just wanted to see something. They wanted to get something. They wanted to gain something. The Most High knows the heart of the people. He knows the difference between those who want him and want what he has. And this is what you need to ask yourself. Is some of the problems that you're really dealing with right now, is it because you're trying to gain this knowledge to be able to go back and debate and go back and shine and go back and talk down on people? Or is it that you're really trying to come closer to the Most High? You understand? So when they asked him the question, what was his answer? Verse 11?
He answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given.
But to them it is not given. And so sometimes you will be in a place, like for instance, some of my people that's on with us right now was all at the Bible and Black Conference. Some of you was there, right? And there were some of you that I talked to throughout the conference where y'all came to me and was like, yo, man, this is the greatest thing ever happened to me. I thank the Most High. This really was a blessing. I got the dots connected. Did this and that was good, man. This blessed me. I'm ready to go back and just seek the Most High and learn. But then there was others that was there that was coming, and only thing they had was to say was, well, what about that? Or what about this? But they didn't say that. Well, what about this though? Because even though they was there, they didn't come to receive. Some people that was there came to question. You understand? And we noticed that because on Friday night, the crowd was pretty much half and half of Israelites and those that were still in the Christian church. As the weekend progressed, the numbers went up more and more with our Israelite brothers and went down. Is because they thought, I don't know what some people thought, and it was just like people didn't really want to come and get what they said they came there for. When we went out of our way to present this thing in a manner. I said all that to say this, is that many, ladies and gentlemen, of the people that you're trying to help, it's not meant for them to have it. I wouldn't say forever, maybe not at this time. So a lot of you are frustrating yourselves for no reason. You know what I'm saying? The number one thing you need to make sure that you do is to work out your own soul salvation with fear and trembling. And not be so caught up in the fact of who getting it and who ain't, because you can be sitting in a room and hear a teaching. You over there, your spirit's on fire, and the other person's looking at it like, yo, I don't get it. It's because it ain't meant for them to have. You know, and that's just what it is. And he's going to break that down. Verse 12.
For whosoever has, to him shall be given,
Mm-hmm.
and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken away even that he had.
Notice, that's the reason why I started in Sirach. To show you, ladies and gentlemen, that the fear of the Most High is what brings the wisdom. It's the beginning. This is the issue. You have people going to church for all types of reasons. You have people coming to God for all type of reasons. You have people seeking information and knowledge for all types of reasons. But the only ones that the Most High is going to give more and more understanding to is those who have already the fear and the reverence and the honor for who he is. I'm going to prove that. Let's go to Isaiah 28. Let me show you that. The Spirit of the Most High said, I need to show you this. Watch this. Let's go to Isaiah 28. So I'm going to make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that before tonight's over with, you're not, I hope through the help of the Holy Spirit, that we can get a lot of unnecessary drama and stress off your shoulders. Look at what it says here. Look at what it says here, ladies and gentlemen. Isaiah 28, D. Let's look at that verse 9 there. Watch what he says here in verse 9.
Whom shall teach knowledge?
Whom shall he teach knowledge?
And whom shall he make to understand doctrine?
So he asked the question, who is it that I'm going to teach knowledge? And whom will I do what?
Shall he make to understand doctrine?
Who is those people?
Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast.
You see that? So if you're still dealing in the what we used to call Christian 101, you're not in a position to get this understanding of this knowledge and this identity and this heritage. If you're still coming to the Most High to get something, to be excused, if you're still treating Yeshua as if he's Santa Claus, like, you know what I'm saying? I know I've been naughty, but still, can you do you got something for me? You're not going to get this deeper understanding. I tell people all the time, at this point, if you're still calling him God, for our Hebrew brothers, if you're still calling him Yah and he has not transitioned to Abba, you're in trouble. You understand? And this is the reason, ladies and gentlemen, that many people will never, ever be able to understand what's going forth. And this is why they won't have faith in you, because they don't have faith in the Most High. You understand? We was talking to someone tonight about the Feast of Tabernacles is coming up. And we was like, you should participate in this thing with us. And that person looked at us and said, what does that have to do with me? But if you ask that person, do you love God? Do you love Christ? Is he head of your life? Yes, that's what they will say. Yes. But when Halloween comes, that same person will be locked and loaded with candy down at the church saying, hallelujah night, we're going to have a good time and we're going to celebrate Jesus with the kids. You understand what I'm saying here? This is where we at as a people. And so if you don't already have that reverence for the Most High, it's going to be a long road for you. But for those who do, let's keep going on. Matthew 12 and 13. 13 and 13.
Therefore speak I to them in parables, because they see not, and hear they hear not, neither do they understand.
Neither do they understand. They have everything at their disposal that just like everybody else has. They have eyes to see, but they can't see because their eyes are drawn away for everything else. They got ears to hear, but they listening for everything else and not my voice. Watch this. Verse 14.
And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which saith, By hearing ye shall hear, and shall not understand.
Mhm.
Seeing ye shall see, and shall not perceive.
Right?
For this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing,
Mm-hmm.
and their eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes,
Mhm.
and hear with their ears, and should understand with their hearts, and should be converted, and I should heal them.
Y'all see that? So this is not something, this is not the same thing that you hear Paul talking about in Romans, the first chapter, when he's talking about being turned over to a reprobated mind. No. This is them doing it to themselves. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to know it. Shabbat shalom to one, good seeing you on with us tonight. I don't want to know. You understand what I'm saying here? So, ladies and gentlemen, you need to understand, and this is what I need you to get to, verse 16, before I make the statement. Go ahead and read verse 16.
Blessed are your eyes, for they see.
So blessed are your eyes because they see,
And your ears, for they hear.
and your ears because they can hear. Verse 17.
For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them.
You hear it. You are seeing it. You are seeing the awakening of Israel. You understand? You are hearing the voice of the Holy Spirit of the Most High God telling his people to come back to him. You're hearing it. I know it's difficult. I know it's hard. But you must see this as an honor. Living by faith when no one has faith in you. You understand? Oh, the Spirit's telling me something. Wow. Wow. Let's go to Matthew 24. Watch this. Watch this. Wow. Okay. Woo. Wow. Let's go to Matthew 24. Wow. Oh, gee, this is crazy. Oh, that's crazy. Let's go to Matthew 24. Start at verse 37.
But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Mm-hmm.
For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day was Noah entered into the ark,
Mm-hmm.
and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also be the coming of the Son of Man be.
Now, check this out. The Spirit just said to say this to you. As the Most High began to bring an end to the world we knew before, he sent Noah to build the ark. And he was doing the work of the Most High. He was living by faith in an area where they had no rain. You understand? No rain. But was told to build an ark. Right? And the people said he was crazy. The people thought that he was doing something that was pointless. He was living by faith, and yet no one had faith in him. Right? But Hamashiach just said that when the coming of the Son of Man come, that are going to be similar to the days of Noah. Ladies and gentlemen, you are the arks. You are building the arks. You're living by faith and no one has faith in you. You're steadily building your families. You're steadily going back to the law, statutes, and commandments. You're steadily going back to the holy days. You're steadily going back to the Sabbaths. And no one has faith in you. But read that last verse again. Verse 39.
And knew not until the flood came.
And they knew not until the flood came.
And took them all away.
Uh-huh.
So shall also the coming of the Son of Man
So
be.
shall the coming of the Son of Man be. We are the new Noahs. ladies and gentlemen. We are the new Noahs. And so, just as our father Noah didn't lose sight of what he was ordained to do, what he was called to do, what he was commissioned to do, we must not lose sight. We must continue to build our ark when it comes to our family. We must build our ark as we travel and make our way back to the Most High. Because when the rain comes, whether people believe in us or not ain't gonna matter. The only thing that's gonna matter is your safety. You understand? That's crazy, right? Living by faith when no one has faith in you. Watch this. Watch this. Now, let's go to Numbers 22. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Sheesh. Now, I don't want to be insensitive here. I know that this is a tough thing here. You know, when we were, some of us played sports, and you were out there on the football fields or the basketball courts, and some of you, you know, it was difficult. And, you know, we had cheerleaders, we had coaches, we had family that was believing in us and screaming on and screaming our names in the games and all those things. And when we got down and out, when you was hurting and it seemed as if you didn't have what it takes to keep going, those people saying that they believed in you, make you run that extra lap or made you just, you know, lift that extra weight or whatever the case may be. And I know that people believing in you, it helps. I know it does. And so a lot of times when you don't have that, it feels as if you can't do it. But I think that I truly believe that there's some times in our lives, there's some battles that we have to fight in our lives that our direct support system the Most High keeps from us. There's stages in life that you're going to have to go through where he makes it so that you can't have any other source outside of him. Because too often we will accredit others when we don't realize that it was the Most High. Let me. I don't know why the Most High is bringing this out, but let me say this right quick before I go to Numbers 22. I seen this story one time of this guy was a CEO of his company, and his wife came to visit him at the job to eat lunch with him, and he was busy that day, so he didn't have time to go take her to lunch. So they ate dinner in the cafeteria, and as they were finishing up the lunch, the janitor at the company came in, and he was cleaning up or whatever. And as he walked past the table, the wife looked at the janitor and said, and called his name, said Johnny, and he knew her name. He said, "Oh my God," and he was like, "Wow, I ain't seen you since such and such." And so they began to talk and reminisce and, you know, bring out this, bring out that, or whatever the case may be. And so he's like, "Yo, it was good to see you. It's good to see you." And he left. And so the man sitting there, you know, all arrogant, you know, he's the CEO. I can't believe you spending time with this lowly janitor here. He's like, how do you know him? She's like, well, we used to date when I was in high school. And we dated all the way up until college, but our relationship ended. And then he made the statement and said, "Ain't you glad that you dumped him? Because if you hadn't, you'd be married to the janitor and not to the CEO." And so she turned at him and looked at him. She said, "No, if I had stayed with him, he would be the CEO and you would be the janitor, right? And so when the dude was like, what? And so it goes down, and the video is showing how all those times when the man was getting ready to throw in the towel, get ready to quit, how she was the one that was coming to him saying, listen, you can make this. I believe in you. Don't worry about this. Don't do this. Don't do that. And it was like all throughout their lives where it was situations where he was done. He was fed up. And it was her that was encouraging him, her that was believing in him, her that was saying, listen, you can't quit. You came this far. And that's how he became the CEO. I said that to say this, is that sometimes in life, ladies and gentlemen, we will equate things to ourselves. And we'll make it seem as if that we're here because of our perseverance, our education, our unwillingness to give up. You understand? But the Most High sometimes shuts the doors. He closes the mouth of the cheerleaders. He allows strife between our loved ones. He lets that division gets in the midst of people, so that now you're sitting there and you don't have that person to look to. And you don't have no one to look to but him. And I believe many of you right now are in that place. You got to live by faith when no one has faith in you. You understand? But it's only going to be if you have the faith in the Most High that you're going to be able to accomplish what he set out for you to do. And I'm going to show you here in Numbers, the 22nd chapter, that what he has said over your life, no man, no woman, no devil can reverse it. Let's go to Numbers 22nd chapter. And let's start there at verse 1.
And the children of Israel set forth and pitched in the plains of Moab on this side Jordan by Jericho. And Balak the son of Zippor saw all that Israel had done to the Amorites. And Moab was so afraid of the people because they were many, and Moab was distressed because of the children of Israel.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is not necessarily related to your friends and your loved ones, but it is related to the powers that be in this country. It is related to the powers that be over the Christian and Judaism religions. So you see, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why you're seeing now with all these so-called Christian apologists coming up, and you're seeing all of these debates that people are doing, and you're seeing all these pastors coming out talking about Israelites, and you're seeing all of these documentaries mentioning the Israelites. We talked about last week that they got a little satire movie dropping about Israelites. The reason why you're seeing these things, ladies and gentlemen, is because they knew the entire time who we was. Okay? And I'm going to put this out here right now. Listen, don't allow any Gentiles, anybody coming in telling you, well, we know you guys are the people, and this is what we teaching over here, and I got this video right here, and I got this evidence about the no, listen, don't even buy into it, okay? Okay? Because all of these guys that are doing this right now are in panic mode, and they're trying to control and keep themselves in a position of authority. We don't need you for anything. And that's no disrespect to some of the Gentiles, teachers and ministers, so-called ministers and whatever they call themselves, that are awakening to who are. We congratulate you. That's what's up. But the only thing you can do right now is sit down and learn. We don't want to watch your videos. We're not coming to your seminars. We don't need you to speak up on our behalf because you already knew. Okay? So I just wanted to put that out there. Don't get caught up in that stuff, man. Don't share their videos. Don't give them no publicity. Okay? We don't need you for your hooks around here, champ. Okay? We good over here. The spirit of the Most High is awakening our people. We don't need you. So don't get caught up in that, man, because it's all in the agenda. Trust me. They're just trying to control the narrative. Now, having said that, read verse 4.
And Moab said unto the elders of Midian, now shall this company look up all that are round about us, as the ox looketh up the grass of the field? And Balak the son of Zippor was king of the Moabites at the time.
Mm-hmm.
He sent messengers therefore unto Balaam the son of Beor to Hathor, which is by the river of the land of the children of his people,
Mhm.
to call him, saying, behold, there is a people come out from Egypt. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they abide over against me.
Right?
Come now, therefore, I pray thee, curse you this people, for they are too mighty for me. Peradventure I shall prevail, that we may smite them, and that I may drive them out of the land. For I want that he whom thou blessest is blessed, and he whom thou cursest is cursed.
Now, all praise to the Most High, Miss Pop. All praise to the Most High. Now, I wanted to say this. Now, notice that what the king Balak is saying. He said, listen, I want you, Balaam, to come and curse these people. Because I know that word wat means no. I know that whoever you've blessed and spoke good things over, they had good things happen to them. For those who you curse and spoke bad things over to them, I know bad things happen. So I want you to curse. Why am I saying this, ladies and gentlemen? It's because there are some people who are in authority figures in this world right now, who are going out of their way. They coming with the black extremist, titles, and they putting Israelites on hate groups, and they rolling these guys out on YouTube and marking their videos while they're the ones that are cussing white people out and talking reckless. These are the videos. Every time you put an Israelite, these are the videos that you see. But people who are teaching truth and love and awakening, now they getting their videos out of there. Okay. So a majority of your family members, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why they have so much objection to what you're saying is because what media has done to be their first encounters of what we know to be the truth. You understand? So it won't be long, ladies and gentlemen. Well, they're gonna bring out Oprah Winfrey. They're probably gonna have Tyler Perry. They're gonna probably have Tyler Perry make a movie and probably have some Israelites on a corner, and Medea probably gonna get in a fight with them or something. I'm telling you, it's coming. It's coming. Where they're gonna use the top people in our communities to start speaking against them, and many of you are gonna be walking around, as we call you, closet Hebrews. Because you're going to be so afraid thinking that someone can curse you, someone can take away from you what Most High has already said is yours. It doesn't matter what they think. I'm going to show you here that they cannot stop us. Now, if you read the rest of Numbers 22nd chapter here, you'll find out that the Most High told Balaam not to go down there. He instructed him specifically not to go down there. He actually almost sent an angel to kill him, okay, to not to go down there. But he said, you know what? I got something better. Go on down there, and I'm going to use you to bless it. Watch this. Go over to chapter 23, and Deke start at verse 1.
And Balaam said unto Balak, build me here 7 altars, prepare me here 7 oxen and 7 rams.
Right.
And Balak did as Balaam had spoken, and Balaam offered on every altar a bullock and a ram.
Mm-hmm.
And Balaam said unto Balak, stand by thy burnt offering, and I will go. Peradventure the Lord will come to meet me, and whatsoever he showeth me, I will tell thee. And he went to an high place.
So he set up the sacrifices to the Most High, and he said, listen, I'm going to sacrifice these things to the Most High. And whatever he tells me to say, this is what I'm going to say. Watch this. Verse 4.
And God met Balaam and said unto him, I have prepared 7 altars, and I have offered upon every altar a bullock and a ram.
Right.
And the Lord put a word in Balaam's mouth, and said, Return unto Balaam, and thus thou shalt speak.
Right?
And he returned unto him, and lo, he stood by his burnt sacrifice, he and all the princes of Moab.
So all the princes of Moab is out there. Everybody's out there thinking, we're about to witness the demise of Israel. But watch what happened. Verse 7.
And he took up his parable and said, Balak the king of Moab has brought me from Aram out of the mountains of the east, saying, Come, curse me, Jacob, and come, defy Israel. And shall I curse whom God has not cursed?
Mm-hmm.
And how shall I defy whom the Lord has not defied?
Read that again. Look at what he said.
Or how shall I defy whom the
No,
Lord...
read the verse whole thing.
How shall I curse whom God has not cursed?
How can I curse whom the Most High has not cursed? Go ahead.
Or how shall I defy whom the Lord has not defied?
It doesn't matter. You understand? They don't have to have faith in us. They don't have to speak good upon us. They can't do nothing to stop this. You understand? I don't care how many of the top preachers they roll out and say, this is a lie. This is made up. It can't stop it. Because, ladies and gentlemen, man didn't start this. This is not a Black Panther party. This is not a movement. This is not some bunch of radical people getting together saying, I'm going to be somebody. No. This is the spirit of the Most High, a higher, a sure, a higher. Coming back together as people. Living by faith when no one has faith in you. Watch this. Verse 9.
From the top of the rocks I see him, and from the hills I behold him. Lo, the people shall dwell alone, and shall not be reckoned among the nations.
Mm-hmm.
Who can count the dust of Jacob, and the number of the fourth part of Israel?
Right.
Let me die the death of the righteous.
Read that again.
Let me die the death of the righteous, and let my last end be like his. And Balak said unto Balaam, What hast thou done unto me? I took thee to curse my enemies, and behold, thou hast blessed them altogether.
You see that? It doesn't matter what scheme they come up with, man. I need y'all to understand. You don't need a documentary. You don't need these top so-called Christian leaders to come out and validate you. You don't need nothing but this and the Holy Spirit. And if you got that, you got the Most High. You got Yeshua. You got everything you need. Hallelujah. So we don't need nobody to believe in us. Living by faith when no one has faith in you. You understand? Watch this. It gets better. Watch this. Verse 12.
And he answered and said, Must I not take heed to speak which the Lord had put in my mouth?
Mm-hmm.
And Balak said unto him, Come, I pray thee, with me unto another place,
Right.
which thou mayest see them. Thou shalt see among the utmost part of them, and shall not see them all, and curse me them from thence.
So we're going to try it again. Let's go to another spot. Let's take it from another time. Let's go to another mega church. Let's try it again. Let's go.
And he brought him unto the field of Zophim, to the top of Pisgah, and built 7 altars, and offered a bullock and a ram on every altar.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto Balak, Stand here by the burnt offering, while I meet with the Lord yonder.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord met Balaam, and put a word in his mouth, and said, Go again unto Balak, and say thus.
Mm-hmm.
And when he came to him, behold, he stood by his burnt offering, and the princes of Moab with him. And Balak said unto him, What has the Lord spoken?
Mm-hmm.
And he took up his parable and said, Rise up, Balak, and hear, hearken unto me, thou son of Zippor.
Right.
God is not a man that he should lie,
Uh-huh.
neither the son of man that he should repent.
Mm-hmm.
As he said, and shall not do it, or has he spoken, and it shall he not make it good?
Right.
Behold, I have received commandment to bless, and he has blessed. I cannot reverse it.
Read that again. Read that verse 20 again.
Behold, I have received commandment to bless,
Behold, I have received the commandment to bless,
and he has blessed,
and he has blessed,
and I cannot reverse
and
it.
I cannot reverse it. No nation, no prophet, no president, no scientist, no billionaire, no religion, nobody can stop it. Do you understand? Living by faith when no one has faith in you. You understand? This is the power that you're working from. This must be the understanding that you go into every situation, every day you wake up. That there's nothing that nobody or no one, no devil, no hell, no demon, no spirit, no sickness, no nothing. You understand? Oh, it feels good to be back, boy. It feels good to be back. I was struggling last Saturday. Oh, it feels good to be back. Whew. That's it. That's all I need on that. Now, let's go to Isaiah 10. I need you to hold that and get Luke, the 22nd chapter. Now, you know, so many people will spend their lives striving to accomplish a goal or a dream. And their main motivation to accomplish that goal or a dream will be simply because the people around them, the closest people to them, have said that they couldn't do it. That the thing, the voice that they hear every day when they get up, and the last thing that's on their mind every night before they go to sleep, is the people closest to them. A wife, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a husband, a father, a sister, a mother, a former business partner, or friends, or whatever the case may be, a teacher. You know, that voice in their ear telling them that they couldn't do some particular goal or dream that they have. You understand? And some of them will actually be able to be successful in accomplishing that goal and that dream. Some of them won't, but many of them will actually be able to accomplish that dream and that goal that they set out. But this is the thing. But the thing, whether they accomplish that dream or whether they don't accomplish that dream, the thing that they all have in common is that they are depressed, angry, bitter, and mentally exhausted. All of them. And you know why? Because that goal and that dream that they set out to accomplish had nothing to do with the purpose the Most High had for their life. And the only motivation that they had to actually accomplish it is because people said that they couldn't. But it had nothing to do with the Most High. Ladies and gentlemen, you must be spirit-led, not led by your disappointments, not led by people not believing in you. And if you're doing this awakening, if you're in these scriptures and doing research every day to prove people wrong, you're in it for the wrong reason. And eventually, you're gonna find yourself running into a wall, and you're never gonna be able to get past that wall. And you're gonna be angry, you're gonna be bitter, you're gonna be mentally wore out, you're gonna be depressed, and you're just sitting around walking with a bunch of knowledge filled with hate and just despair. I want to show you something quick here. I'm going to show you these two precepts to get you to understand that you can't be moved by disappointments. You understand? Those with a misguided drive will never enjoy their destination. I'm going to say that again. Those with a misguided drive will never enjoy their destinations. You understand? I want to show you this. Let's go to Isaiah 10 and Luke, the 22nd chapter. Isaiah 10, and let's start there at verse 22. Watch this. Slaki, verse 20.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel, and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob.
Now stop there. Notice that here that Isaiah is talking about the remnant of Israel, not the children of Israel. Those are two different people. I'm taking you here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, because all of us are the children of Israel. But all of us are not the remnant of Israel. Those guys that stand out on the street corners, waking up, they're cussing people out every day, talking, making people kiss their feet and all that. They're the children of Israel. But many of them are not the remnant of Israel. All these people that's going around talking about only black people going to heaven are the children of Israel. All of them, none of them are not the remnant of Israel. All of these people talking about you don't got to get baptized. They are the children of Israel. Unless the Spirit brings them to repentance and to be baptized, they will not be a part of the remnant of Israel. All of our Christian brothers and sisters who are in the church denying who they are the children of Israel. All of them walk around waving the American flag, saying, I'm black, I'm African American, I'm Mexican, I'm Christian, I'm Catholic, I'm Baptist, I'm Protestant, I'm a holiness, I'm all of these titles that they've given themselves, that they accepted amongst themselves, I say. All the children of Israel. But they're not all the remnant of Israel. And read that again for them. Listen what Isaiah says. He says what? Isaiah 10 and 20.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel,
That the remnant of Israel,
and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob,
such that are escaped. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you right now, proving other people wrong will not ever be a parachute out of the dangers of Jacob's trouble. What it's going to guarantee is you're going to be devoured in Jacob's trouble. Because if you're moving to accomplish a disappointment, or when you're moving by the spirit of I'm going to prove this person wrong, or if you're moving by I'm going to show them this, or I'm going to show them that didn't believe on me, or all my haters this, and if haters are in this type of terminology is in your vocabulary, you're finished. You better take that back to the Christian church. Because this ain't working with the Most High, talking about my haters and my motivators. You won't make it. Because we have to escape Jacob's trouble. You understand? Go ahead.
And such as are escaped of the house of Jacob
Mm-hmm.
shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but stay upon the Lord, the Holy One of Israel, in truth.
In what?
In truth.
So the ones that make it out of the traps of Jacob's trouble, that make it out of the curses of Israel, and are no longer up under the bonds of the Gentiles, we will be standing on truth. You understand? And truth alone. That's why John 8:32 says, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. If you're looking around at people you're going to miss it. You understand? Watch this. Verse 21.
The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty God.
Notice he keeps saying the remnant. He's not saying the children of Israel. The remnant will return. Go ahead, verse 22.
For though my people Israel be as the sand of the sea,
Now he gets back to talking about the whole children of Israel. Though the children of Israel is as the number of the sand of the sea. Go ahead.
yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decree shall overflow with righteousness.
The consumption decree will consume those who are now walking in righteousness. Now let's precept that to Hebrews, the 12th chapter. Watch this. I want to make sure tonight, ladies and gentlemen, that we have our priorities in order. Living by faith when no one has faith in you. Watch this. Hebrews 12. Check this out. And let's go straight to it, D. Let's go straight to it. Verse 14. Hebrews 12 and 14. Hebrews 12 and 14.
Follow peace with all men.
Follow peace with all men.
And holiness, without which no man shall see the Lord.
Do y'all see that, ladies and gentlemen? Do y'all see that? So, matter of fact, hold your place there, D. Give me 1 John 4 and 20. This is the spirit right now. This ain't in our notes. Because I want to make sure, ladies and gentlemen, because every time I'm having conversations with people about this truth and getting our relationships right with the Most High, the majority of the time I'm in the council with people, they're talking to me about what other people are doing to them. And I'm trying to bring back the conversation to the Most High, and they just keep bringing in other people. Well, my family doing this, and well, she did this, and he said this. 1 John 4 and 20.
If a man say, I love God, and hate of his brother, he is a liar.
He is a what?
He is a liar.
Uh-huh.
For he that loveth not his brother whom he has seen, how can he love God whom he has not seen?
Listen, man. If you hate your brother, you can't love the Most High. And you think, well, they're just talking about Israel, right? They're just with Israel. Go back to Hebrews 12, and let me find that precept in Leviticus 16, so I can make sure I cover all bases, because you know how they do. Mm-hmm. Go back to Hebrews 12, and let me find that precept in Leviticus 16, so I can make sure I cover the Gentiles as well. They be like, man, that was just talking to Israel, man. No, they don't talk about no Gentiles now. No, I can't feel you on that. No, not that now. Let's see. Let me get that reset real quick. 1 second. What was that? That's 13 and 16. Where he says, dwells with the stranger, right? For you was in Egypt and they treated you right. One second. One second. You know, I don't like to just quote stuff. I want to make sure that I can show it to you. One second. Go to your Gmail because I know I sent that lesson to you. Go to your. It should come up in your recent Gmail. So we had it on a lesson previous. And go to you still got all the stuff with it. Did you delete anything? Okay, go back to the top of the search and put Leviticus. Put Leviticus in, and it should come up. 1 second, y'all. 'Cause I want to make sure that we cover everything on this. As soon as I see it, I'm gonna know it. That's it right there. Just click on that little instrument for change. That's the one it's in right there. Leviticus 19. Yeah, that's it. Sorry about that, y'all. Now, read Hebrews 12 and 14, and then precept that to Hebrews, to Slack it to Leviticus 19 and 34. 33 and 34.
Follow peace with all men.
Follow peace with all men.
And holiness,
Mm-hmm.
without which no man shall see the Lord.
Without which no man shall see the Lord. Now go to Leviticus 19, 33 and 34.
And if a stranger sojourn with thee in your land, ye shall not vex him.
You shall not vex him.
But the stranger that dwelleth with you, you shall be unto you as one born among you.
He said what?
But the stranger that dwelleth with you shall be unto you as one born among you.
Right.
And thou shalt love him as thyself.
You shall do what?
Thou shalt love him as thyself, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God.
You see that? So I just wanted to make sure I put that out there. That we don't have no luxury to go back and forth in this thing of doing it how we feel like doing it. Back to Hebrews 12. Verse 15.
Looking diligently lest any man fail of the grace of God,
Mm-hmm.
lest any root of bitterness springing up trouble you, and thereby many be defiled.
By many are defiled. That root of bitterness that will come up in you and will get you bitter, will get you upset, and it will destroy you and defile you. Go ahead.
Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright.
Do you understand, ladies and gentlemen? Shabbat shalom. Good seeing you on with us tonight. Do you understand, ladies and gentlemen, that there's brothers and sisters right now forfeiting their right to the kingdom for Christmas? Do you know right now that there's people right now forfeiting their right to the kingdom for fornication? Do you know right now there's people forfeiting their right to the kingdom for friends, acceptance, for social media presence, to be a social media celebrity? Because they were doing all this stuff on social media, wilding and getting all these followers and, you know, on YouTube and all these things. Girls so beautiful, they done came Instagram models. And now this truth came on them. And like, no, you can't be dressed like that no more. You need to be modest. That's going to take a lot of my attention away. People are really forfeiting the kingdom, ladies and gentlemen, for likes. Do you understand? We read the story of Esau like, man, I can't believe Esau gave up his birthright for some soup. But you need to go into Jasher to read really what it really happened with that. It still was bad, but it's a whole lot more deeper than it's broke down in Genesis. But our people right now are giving up their right to the kingdom, their heritage, their culture for a Christmas tree. For social media likes. For some girl who probably won't even be there, and 6 months later, for some guy who, as soon as the money train run out, as soon as the next best option come, he's gonna leave you. You understand? It's worse. And look at what happened. Verse 17.
For ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected, and he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears.
Though he sought it carefully with tears. And many of our brothers and sisters, many of the children of Israel are going to be those 5 foolish virgins knocking on the door as the wise virgins go in with the bridegroom. Living by faith when no one has faith in you. Now, I know I told y'all to go to Luke 22, but I'm not going to go there. The Spirit told me to go to Hebrews 12 to cover that. Let's go to 2nd Esdras 7th chapter. We almost done tonight. It ain't going to be a long lesson tonight. Long for our standards. Maybe long to some of you, but not for our standards. Let's go to 2nd Esdras 7. And I want to go here tonight because I know many of you are saying, okay, man, all right, I feel you. Okay, I hear you. But why does it have to be so tough for us? Matter of fact, let's start at 2nd Esdras 6. Because I know many of you have those questions. I'm not going to go there, but I'm going to go right after that. Let's go to 2nd Esdras 6. I want to show you some questions that Esdras asked that I'm pretty sure many of you have asked. If we are the children of Israel and we're supposed to be God's chosen people, then why does it seem that we got it so much rougher than everybody else? Why is it this on us? And I'm going to show you. Let's go to 2nd Esdras 6. All right. And let's start there at verse 57. Let's go to 57, D.
And now, O Lord, behold, these heathens which have ever been reputed as nothing have begun to be lord over us and to devour us.
Right.
And we thy people, whom hast thou called firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure?
Now, so Esdras is asking the question. You got to understand that Esdras is asking this question around the time where our ancestors had been in captivity from Babylon. They had been in the Persian captivity. And this is right before, I think this would be around 500 BC. So we done went through all of this turmoil. We haven't even went into the Greek and started the Roman captivity yet. It was bad enough then. So our people, we done been through a lot. We done seen a lot. Everybody talking about this so-called 400 years prophecy. I understand it, but we've dealt with that before. I'm not even going to go into that. I want to ruffle no feathers tonight. But we've been suffering a whole lot longer than 400 years. Let's put it like that. And so now with us waking up and we're going through these things, people are questioning, especially when you're in those initial years. People are saying like, man, is this what chosen meant? Like, this is being chosen. This is God's people. This is what it means. I'm going to show you why this is. Because it's one thing to not have people believe in you, but it's another thing to live by faith and trust that all of this is worth it. But I need to show you what you're fighting and why. Let's go over to chapter 7, 2 Ezra 7, and let's start at verse 1.
And when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me the angel which had been sent unto me the nights before.
So if you started chapter 5, Ezra is going on this long conversation with the Most High. This is something that's ongoing here. This is not, this is night after night. He's fasting and seeking the Most High, and the Most High keeps sending an angel to give him these revelations. So the angel that came the night before, now is back to give him more understanding. Verse 2.
And he said unto me, Up, Idris, and hear the words that I have come to tell thee. And I said, Speak on, my God.
Now, he wasn't calling this angel God. He was telling, this was a messenger of the Most High, to make sure that was clear. Go ahead.
Then said he unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, and it might be deep and great.
Mm-hmm.
But the entrance were narrow and like a river.
Mm-hmm.
Who then could go into the sea to look upon it, to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad?
Now, so he's saying, listen, you got this broad ocean, right? But in order to get to the actual broad ocean, you got to go, most time you got to go through the lake, and then you got to get to the lake, you get to the river, then you get to the river, and sometimes the river, you got to go down another creek here, another there. These little narrow spots to actually come into a greater mass of water. You understand? So he was saying, like, you gotta go through a small area to actually get into this greater thing in which you are here to partake of. Watch this though. Verse 6.
There is also another thing. A city is built and set upon a broad field,
Mhm.
and is full of all good things.
Right?
The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water.
So he said, listen, now let's take it from another perspective. You got this great city full of great goods, great possessions, great wealth, right? But there's a narrow spot to get into it. And on top of that, you got, on this side, you got fire on this side you could fall into. And on the other side, you got this great deep water you could fall into and drown. Look what he said. Verse 8.
And only one path between them and them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could only but one man go there at once.
Now, let me show you something. Let's go to Matthew 7. Watch this. I want to show y'all this because Yeshaya talks about this same thing himself. Now, remember, the night's lesson is entitled, Living by Faith When No One Has Faith in You. Watch this. I know a lot of times right now, especially for you, many of you that are in this early stage of this truth, you're asking yourself, like, something can't be right about this because my church is packed. The mega churches is packed. Christmas and Thanksgiving, everybody is with it. I don't want to know a few people who are keeping Passover and September. Everybody talking about Labor Day. Ain't nobody talking about the Feast of Trumpets and Day of Atonement and Tabernacle. Ain't nobody talking about that. We getting ready for the harvest. For the football and we getting ready for college football and Halloween is coming up, and the homecomings, that's what we're talking about. Nobody talking about that, right? But look at what he said. Now, Ezra said that path was so small that you only could see one man go at a time. Watch this, Matthew 7. Watch this. Even Yeshaya made a statement similar to that. Matthew 7 and start at verse 13.
Enter ye in at the straight gate.
Enter ye in at the straight gate.
For wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction.
So wide is the way, and broad is the way that lead to destruction. So if everybody's there, that's your clear indication that you're in the wrong spot. If everybody's doing it, if everybody's with it, that should let you know I'm in the wrong place. Go ahead.
That lead to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat.
You're going to see everybody there. When these fake prophets and these fake apostles and all this go live, everybody's there. Okay? Everybody's sharing it. Everybody's seeing the video. Everybody's following them on social media. Do you understand? Watch this. Verse 14.
Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it.
And few will be there that find it. Watch this. Verse 15.
Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, and inwardly they are ravaging wolves.
Inwardly they are raving wolves, man. Now, go to 2 Peter 3 and 2. Watch this. Watch this. 2 Peter 3 and 2. 2 Peter 3. 2 Peter. 2 Peter. 2nd chapter, verse 1. Watch this.
But there are false prophets also among the people.
Right.
Even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies.
They will bring in damnable heresies,
even denying the Lord that brought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction.
So the number one thing they want to do is they're going to deny the Lord Yeshua. They ain't going to come with the Christ of the Bible. They're going to come with this new Jesus that accepts everything. But look at also what they're going to do. Verse 2.
And many shall follow their pernicious ways.
And many, notice Yeshua said, on that broad way to destruction, you'll see everybody there. But Peter says what?
And many shall follow their pernicious ways.
And many shall follow their pernicious ways.
By reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken.
By what?
By whom the way of truth.
The way of truth
shall be evil spoken.
Shall be evil spoken of. Y'all see that? So when anytime you hear guys saying, you ain't got to keep the law, you know Psalm 119, 142 says, thy law is truth. Anybody speaking against the law is speaking against the truth. You see that? Now let's go back to secondary. I wanted to give further edification on that. And let you know that Yeshua warned us of the same exact thing. And Yeshua says in Matthew 15 and 24 that I only came for the household of Israel. Watch this. Now read that again. What was that? 2 Ezra 7 and verse 8. Read verse 8 again.
And one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once.
Mm-hmm.
If the city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before, how shall he receive his inheritance?
If you're not willing to take on the dangers, if you're not willing to take on the disrespect, if you're not willing to take on the ridicule and to walk alone, how will you ever inherit what is there for you? Watch this. Verse 10.
And I said, it is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, even so also is Israel's portion.
Read that again, that last part.
Then he said unto me, even so also is Israel's portion.
This is Israel's portion. Y'all see this? Are y'all hearing this? Our portion is tough to get to. This is why I showed you in Isaiah 10 that you got that remnant had to escape. To whom much is given, ladies and gentlemen, much is required. Let me show them that deep. Let me make sure I always take this back to Yeshua. Let's go to Luke 12. Because he's like, man, that ain't fair. That's not fair. That ain't right. Why do we got to deal with all of this? Well, if you wanted to be chosen, there's something come with being chosen. Let me show you this. Let's go to Luke 12 and read Luke 12 and verse 48. Just go straight to it for unto whom. Luke 12 and 48 goes straight to it for unto whom.
But
For-
for unto whomsoever much is given, of him shall be much required.
Read that again.
For unto whomsoever much is given, of him shall be much required.
Right?
And to whom men have committed much, of him they shall ask the more.
You see that? So this ain't got nothing to do with, ladies and gentlemen, being fair. If we want to be the chosen, if we want to be the rulers, if we want to be standing with Yeshua, this ain't going to come with no cupcake walk here. Living by faith when no one has faith in you. You understand? Now, let's go back to second Esdras if we break this down more. I wanted to make sure that we keep pulling this back to Yeshua. So you won't think this is nothing different than what Yeshua has already told us. Watch this. Verse 11.
Because for their sakes I made the world.
Mm-hmm.
And when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done.
Mm-hmm.
There were the entrances of this world made narrow, full of sorrow and travail. They are but few and evil, full of perils and very painful.
Now, so notice what he said. That as soon as Adam sinned, the decree for Israel to come forth went forth in the earth. That now I went from everybody that walks with Adam, get it, to now my chosen is on top. And I'm going to use my chosen to bring everybody else of the rest of the seeds of Adam in too. So it ain't just about Israel, but because I'm going to use Israel as the example, I'm going to bless them and put them higher, but I'm going to require more of them. But I still going to bring in the rest of the seeds of Adam as well. So because the rest of the seeds of Adam wasn't given the charge to be the light and the salt, they'll get blessed, but they won't get as much as Adam, Salaki won't get as much as Israel get. But because Israel has a higher charge, a higher responsibility, you got to work harder to get it. To whom much is given, much is required. Now, watch this. Verse 13.
For the entrances of the elder world were wide and sure and brought immortal fruit.
Mm-hmm.
If then they that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them.
You understand? So if you're not willing to fight for this thing, you're not willing to work for this thing, you will never get the things that's laid up for you. Watch this. Verse 15.
Now therefore, why disquietest thyself, seeing thou art but a corruptible man? And why art thou moved, whereas thou art but mortal?
He said, listen. So why are you still talking to the Most High is what he asking. Why you ain't shut yourself up knowing you ain't nothing but a man here? Why you not gotta act like you gotta have all the understanding as if you're the Most High? That's what the angel is. He's chastising Esdras here. Because this thing been going on all night. Questioning, notice we always tell you, you can ask the Most High a question, but never question him. And Esdras was getting to the point where he was starting to, why this and why that? And I know many of you have done the same thing because we've all done it. Well, what about this though? And well, the Gentiles this and why they get to do this and the so-called white man doing this and it's need to be what am I doing? The gist of your conversation need to be, what am I doing wrong? What do I need to do? That's what the angel is asking Esdras. Why you ain't shut yourself up yet? Why you still talking about something that's irrelevant? Then he's going to bring it all the way home here in verse 16. Verse 17. Slaki, verse 16.
Why hast thou not considered in thy mind this thing that is to come, rather than that which is present?
He said, why are you not even considering what's coming Because if you will know what's coming, you won't get so caught up in what you're dealing with right now. Let me put this on a practical sense, right? You know how sometimes when you're on your job and it's that Monday, you're about to talk about that Monday and that Tuesday and that so-called hump day and all these things. But what is the main motivation that gets you to the point to get through those situations? Because you understand what's going to be available for you at the end of the week when you get paid. You know, if you don't make it through those days, you don't do those days, you quit along the way, there ain't going to be nothing coming at the end. So even though this person might be getting on your nerves, even though you may be tired, even though, you know, you got obstacles and all, might not be feeling well, all these different things, each morning you go and do what you got to do because you understand it's like what's coming. Well, in the same sense, you got to do that with the Most High. When you understand that, yes, we got to deal with the things of the curses. Yes, we got to deal with the things of being in captivity. Yes, we got to deal with people not believing us. Yes, we got to deal with people breaking our hearts and walking away. Yes, we got to deal with people laughing and ridiculing us. Yes, we got to deal with being alone. Yes, we got to deal with money problems. Yes, we got to, yes. But give me Romans 8 and 18.
For I reckon that the suffering of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us.
Read that again.
For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us.
You see that? Y'all see that? Now, let's end this off tonight, ladies and gentlemen, in 1 Samuel, the 30th chapter. I want to give you guys an actual story to build off of as we bring this to a conclusion tonight. Let's go to 1 Samuel 30. And this story right here is going to be built with all, it's going to consist of all types of spiritual battles, physical and spiritual, that many of us have faced, are facing, or will face in the days to come. And we're going to be able to see David here. David's going to be able to teach us how to persevere in the midst of hardship. Okay? I'm going to take my time here, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. But I wanted to make sure I ended off here in 1 Samuel, the 30th chapter. We're talking about living by faith when no one has faith in you. And I wanted to give you an actual biblical story where someone had to walk this out. And I pray and hope that in your times of despair and adversity, you can go back to this and see how our brother, our ancestor, made it through this hard time. This is especially relevant for the men. Let's go to 1 Samuel 30. And Deke, let's start here, verse 1.
And it came to pass, when David and his men were come to Ziklag on the third day, that the Amalekites had invaded the south, and Ziklag, and smitten Ziklag, and burned it with fire.
Now, in order to get the full depths of this story, you would have to go back and, in about 4 or 5 chapters and read all that has took place here. We don't have time, of course, to do that tonight, but I'm going to give you just a quick overview of what happened. David, we all know in 1 Samuel 16, let's start at chapter 15, when Saul disobeyed the orders of the Most High and was told to take out the Amalekites. And he did not do that. You know, I just not peeped this, and this is funny that David had to deal with the Amalekites right here. Always take it to Esther,
Mm-hmm.
but this was the first incident we had to deal with them.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
That's deep, right?
Yeah.
So, and we're still dealing with Amalek to this day, by the way. To this day. Another lesson for another time. But so Saul lost his kingship as a result of not doing what thus says the Most High. So in chapter 16, Samuel was sent to anoint a new king. We know that in chapter 16, David was anointed, but he did not become king overnight. So you go and he began to join David, Salaki joined Saul and worked with Saul and served Saul, but Saul knew that his time was running out. Saul hated David, wanted to kill him. We know that's how it goes. You fast forward through some of the chapters here, and David, as running from for his life, end up forming a partnership with some of the Philistines. I'm bringing this out because, and I want to talk to my men right here, because what happens is that many of our men in our communities, because of life, the hands that many of us was dealt, we went away from what we were doing, what we were taught to do, or what we was accustomed to doing, and started taking on ways of the other nations, where we started putting things, making things of more valuable, of more value than our family and our wives and our children and our communities. And as a result of doing those things, these things end up taking our men out of the family, out of the home, out of the community as the protectors. Some of those things were illegal. So it sent some of our men out to prison. Some of those things were not illegal, but it still took them away from the family. Whereas they was in the military, where they were working professions where it had them out working extra hours and spending a lot of times away from the home. And in the times when they started working in these jobs in these communities, these corporations, they started taking on and fellowshipping with the other nations and doing things that the other nations did. And as a result, whether it be criminal, whether it be good intentions, whether it be whatever the case may be, our families were left vulnerable. Our families was left at the disposal of the enemy. So now, while David, back here in 1 Samuel the 30th chapter, David felt like he needed to make a partnership with the enemy and to go out and to help them so that they could help him in the long run. He had his reasons. But when he got there, if you read in chapters 28 and 29, some of the Philistines didn't trust him. They thought that it was a setup. One of the guys was a good guy. He said, no, David's a good guy. But they was like, yo, send him away, because eventually when we have to fight Israel, he's not going to fight against Israel with us. He's going to turn and try to fight us. Send him away. The only reason David was out there was the return of favor for something that the Philistines had did, one of the Philistines that did for him. So while he was away from home, fulfilling something that may or may not have been the plan of the Most High, his family and his community was left vulnerable. I said all that to say this for my men. Some of you, some of us have failed our families in one way or another. We've disappointed the women, we've disappointed the children, we've left them vulnerable. We have not met the standards in which we're supposed to be. We may have had good intentions. We may have had their best interests at heart, but yet we still failed them. We're going to have to take ownership of that. Because as long as we're pointing fingers and saying that it's someone else's fault, the so-called white man did this, or the system is doing that, or I tried this, or you should have did this, or why you ain't doing this, or Or what about when I did that? It doesn't matter. So I wanted to put that out there. That many of us, sometimes people don't have faith in us because we haven't given them a reason to have faith in us. We're going to have to take ownership of that. For the so-called black man, the so-called African American man. We're going to have to take ownership of that. That really the reason why a lot of your community and your family don't want to hear what you got to say is because you ain't never did anything that you said in the past. We're going to have to be real about that. So let's read that again. 1 Samuel 30, verse 1.
And it came to pass when David and his men were come to Ziklag on the third day, that the Amalekites had invaded the south and Ziklag and smitten Ziklag and burned it with fire.
Right.
And had taken the women captives, and were therein they slew not any, either great or small, but carried them away and went on their way. So David and his men came to the city, and behold, it was burned with fire, and their wives and their sons and their daughters were taken captives.
Right.
Then David and the people that were with him lifted up their voice and wept until they had no more power to weep.
You see that? And right now, men, many of you right now have awakened in the last year, 2 or 3. And by the time you woke up to what was going on, your wives, your children, your community has been taken captive by the enemy. And so now you're coming back. Man, come on, man. Sorry about that, y'all. So now you're coming back with a Bible in your hand, screaming out orders and talking about, this and that. And nobody want to hear what you got to say. And you frustrated. You can't see why nobody don't want to hear you. Because what you saying is in the Bible. They don't care nothing about that. Read that last verse again. Come on, DJ, man.
And David and the people that were with him lifted up their voice and wept until they had no more power to weep.
You see that? And that's the only thing you can do is cry. Many of you right now, many of you men have did a lot of crying. And I'm not just want to focus on the men. A lot of you single moms, you woke up and you have been living this. You've been going to the clubs. You've been going out. You've been chasing men. You've been doing all of this stuff. And now you done woke up and your children are gone. Your community is gone. And it's rough to accept that if you would have been there, if you would have been on your job, if you would have been in place, if you had gave the Most High your all early in life, it wouldn't be so bad. And that's a hard thing for us to accept. It's the responsibility of what's going on and how our lack of devotion and commitment to the Most High has not only hurt us, but it has hurt our families. Not being in place. Watch this. Verse 5.
And David's 2 wives were taken captive, Abinoam the Jezreelitess, and Abigail the wife of Nabal the Carmelite.
Right.
And David was greatly distressed, for the people spake of stoning him, because the soul of all the people was grieved. every man for his son and for his daughter.
Now, not only is David's wives gone, not only is his children gone, but David's the king, David's the leader, and David is feeling the weight of disappointing them. He got his own problems. He got his own pain. He got his own sorrows. But he's also looking at what his decisions has caused the men that mean so much to him. Not only that, but now some of the guys are thinking about stoning him. That's a rough day, dude. Living by faith when no one has faith in you. Now, I need you to ponder, I need y'all to think on this. We can't just smooth past what's going on. This, a lot of times where, we read the Bible, we know days and time is taking place. Nah, this is right here in the moment. Okay? This is right here, right now. That's why I'm not moving on, because I want all this to sink in. What you do each day will determine, ladies and gentlemen, what you do when the attack comes. What you do when the storm comes. What you will do when all hell breaks loose. You know how we talk about on the movies how it seems like everybody on the movie is in great shape because anytime when the police come or some killer come, you can just notice on the movies that anybody can just break out and run for blocks and just running to get away. That's not reality. Okay? If you ain't been running and walking every day, listen, you ain't gonna be running for miles trying to get away. You're gonna be done. That looks good on the movies, but that's not realistic. And if you ain't been spiritually working out, when the devil comes, you don't got no endurance to battle him. You don't have anything inside of you to deal with the situation. David said in one of the Psalms, he said, I hid thy word in thy heart so that I would not sin against thee. You understand? What do you got in your heart? What do you got in your spiritual repertoire? What do you have as your weapons when it's time to fight the real battle? Because let me lay out for you the options that David has here. Option A, David can be consumed here. Run off, go back to Saul, and say, you know what, I lost everything. There'll be another woman, he's David. There'll be mother men, he's David. Option B, he can pull out his sword and say, you know what y'all want to do? And just go into a ravaged fight right now and let the best man make it out of here. Number 3, David can get to the guys that's loyal with him and say, you know what? I'm the king here. You know what? These guys are talking against me. Stone them to death. But there was also another option. An option that hardly we ever do. We ever hardly consider. when things get rough. Read that verse deep. Read that verse again. Verse 5. Read all what happened to him and then read what he did.
And David, 2 wives were taken captive.
Now, verse 6, Salaki. Read all that happened to him and then read what he did.
And David was greatly distressed.
He was greatly distressed.
For the people spake of stoning him,
Mm-hmm.
because the soul of all the people were grieved, every man for his son and for his daughter.
Right?
But David encouraged himself in the Lord.
David did what?
David encouraged himself in the Lord.
David did what?
David encouraged himself in the Lord his God.
Living by faith when no one has faith in you. How many of you, this is a rhetorical question, how many of you on your worst day you can never imagine went into worship? Most of us is picking up the phone and going on Facebook and posting saying, I need y'all to pray for me. And Lord, this, and start calling out the people and all of this. And I'm tired of people attacking me, and I'm tired of this, and I'm tired of that. But David did what?
For David encouraged himself in the Lord.
David encouraged himself in the Lord his God. Do you understand? Living by faith when no one has faith in you. I got to hold on to my fringes as I'm bringing this out right here, deep. You understand? Watch this. Verse 7.
And David said to Abiathar the priest and Ahimelech's son, I pray thee bring me hither an ephod. And Abiathar brought hither the ephod to David.
So David went to the priest. Because notice, in the midst of it, he keep the priest with him. He keep the praise leader with him, you understand? And the ephod is what the priest would have when he would go put on and go into the presence of the Most High. So when these guys over here talking about stoning him, and he got the tears in his eyes of his own family, and he got the stress and the overwhelmness that he's feeling for disappointing his men, his option is to not look at what's going on around me, but to look to the hills which come my help. Living by faith when no one has faith in you. Watch this. Watch this. Verse 8.
And David inquired at the Lord, saying, shall I pursue after this
He
troop?
said, what?
And David inquired at the Lord, saying, shall I pursue after this troop? Shall I overtake them? And he answered him, pursue, for thou shalt surely overtake them, and without fail recover all.
You see that? You see that, ladies and gentlemen? Now, what happens? What happens if David take the other options in which I told you that he had? He doesn't get anything back. But because he chose to worship in the midst of everything, read that last part again. He says, what?
Pursue, for thou shalt surely overtake them, and without fail recover all.
You will recover all. Pursue. But you can't get that deep in your feelings. You can't get that spazzing out on social media. You can't get that in a pity party. You can't get that with a bottle pointing up. You can't get that going and finding you some girl or some guy to satisfy your flesh for a moment. Remember, for those who wasn't with us in the beginning, the fear of the Most High comes with what? A crown of wisdom. You see that, D? That fear of the Most High, where you honor him and reverence him in every situation, comes with that crown of wisdom. Matter of fact, let's go back there. So we're gonna come back here, but for those who wasn't with us from the beginning, let me show you what we're talking about here. This is the first precept that we started with, Sirach 1, so they can understand this. I need to make sure that's clear. Sirach 1 and 18, because you got to understand what we're building upon right here. Sirach 1 and 18. Watch this. Read that again for him, Deacons. Is what?
The fear of the Lord is a crown of wisdom.
It's a crown of wisdom,
making peace
and perfect health
to floor. Both which are gifts of God.
Both which are gifts of God. Go ahead.
And it enlargeth the rejoicing that love him.
Now watch what verse 19 says though.
Wisdom raineth down skill and knowledge of understanding, standing and exalting them to honor that hold her fast.
You see that? Do y'all understand that? This is what coming when you got the Most High. Let's go back to the first time. I wanted to make sure those who weren't with us in the beginning, they saw that. That's what we are building upon here. This is what David had. You don't just get this. This don't just come with being an Israelite. And I think this is something that our people are missing understanding. That when you're waking up to being who you are, that you find out you're not black, that you're not African American, that you're from the tribe of Judah, from the nation of Israel, you start thinking like, I'm going to get an Israelite pack, startup pack. No. 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 You're going to get the Holy Spirit. You're going to get Yeshua HaMashiach, who the world know to be Jesus Christ, according to Romans 8 and 34, who's sitting on the right hand of the Most High interceding for you. And from that point, according to Philippians, the 2nd chapter, you must work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Fear is the fear of the Most High, the reverence and trembling, knowing each step of the way, if I don't stay close to what the Most High said, I will fall. You understand? Living by faith when no one has faith in you. Now, sheesh. Shabbat shalom, I'll good seeing you on with us tonight. Now, I know I got to bring this all the way home. Now, he done sought the Most High. Most High done told him, yeah, oh, you gonna go pursue him and you're gonna get all. Now, D, go back to verse 1. And read verse 1 again, because I need to make sure they didn't miss that.
And it came to pass when David and his men were come to Ziklag on the third day.
On what day?
On the third day.
Now remember that. They was gone for 3 days. I need you to remember that. Who came?
The Amalekites had invaded the south and Ziklag and smitten Ziklag and burned it with fire.
So they got back after being gone for 3 days, and the Amalekites were the ones who did it. I need you to remember that. Now, verse 9.
So David went, and he and the 600 men that were with him, and came to the brook Besor, where those that were left behind stayed. But David pursued, and he and 400 men, for 200 abode behind, which were so faint that they could not go over the brook Besor.
Now, let's stop there. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to also be mindful of this. That life is going to happen, and you're going to have different battles that's going to come with life. And there's going to be some people who are going to be there that's going to fight this battle with you. And then you're going to get to the next stage and the next battle you got to fight. And those people are not going to have what it takes to fight that next battle. And a lot of you right now are hung up on the people who are walking away. You don't got time for that. I know some people might have said, yo, I'm in it to win it. I'm in it to the end. Brother, we're going to go get this truth, and we're going to stay with it. And then you look back, and you see them, on social media, and they're in there now with a Santa Claus hat on. You like, what? And you see them right now talking about, yeah, I just went back. I'm about to go. My kids, we're going trick or treating. And you're like, what? And then you went and took this truth to your pastor and you broke it down and showed him, yeah, we the truth in Israel. And then you've been doing this for 6 months, and the pastor's still doing that and ain't changing, and they still going to Sunday service, and you like, what? I understand. But if you get caught up on people who can't go with you, you ain't gonna never go. You understand? So 200 of them said, man, they were so distraught and destroyed from that first problem that they had back there, even though, notice, right now, they're moving on the word of the Most High. But it doesn't make a difference, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody ain't gonna go. The word of the Most High ain't gonna be enough for people, for everybody. And you need to accept that. Watch this. Verse 11.
And they found an Egyptian in the field and had brought him to David and gave him bread, and he did eat, and they made him drink water.
Now, go ahead, verse 12.
And they gave him a piece of cake of figs and 2 clusters of raisins. And when he had eaten, the Spirit came again to him, for he had eaten no bread nor drunk any water 3 days and 3 nights.
For how long?
3 days and 3 nights.
Now, for those who've been with us throughout this whole entire lesson, we took you to Hebrews, the 12th chapter, verse 14, and we told you to follow peace with all men. And then we precepted in Leviticus 19, 33 and 34, that even when it comes to the stranger, you must treat him as a brother or a sister. This guy is an Egyptian. He's a Gentile. Now, I'm going to pause here, ladies and gentlemen, because I need you to understand how significant each one of these stages that David comes to, and how, if he's just not led by the Spirit, he will fail. David got his own problems, ladies and gentlemen. And some of you got your own issues. You got your own bills. You got your own kids to worry about. You got your own marriage. You got your own ministry. You got your own business. Whatever the case may be. And then life leads you to come across some other person. And they got problems. And you on the way to fix your problem. David got options here. David could have said, you know what? I leave my man a bottle of water and a couple of raisins on the side of the street, and we got to keep it moving. Option A. Option B, hey, man, we might need this food for ourselves. We don't know how far we got to go. If you're here when we get back, hey, we'll look out. But I got to go. Option C, man, dude, a Gentile. Ain't got nothing to do with me, bro. I got my own problem. You got here, I got to get mine. You got to do for yourself. They ain't take none of one of those options, though. In the midst of their problem, they see this guy laying on the side of the road. They don't know who this guy is, but they still helped him. Let's see how that worked out for him. Verse 13.
And David said unto him, to whom belongest thou? And whence art thou? And he said, I am a young man of Egypt, servant to an Amalekite.
Servant to a who?
Servant to an Amalekite, and my master left me because 3 days ago I feel sick.
Y'all see that? You see that? This guy was a slave to the same Amalekites that was there in Ziklag. If they'd have sped on past him, wouldn't have never had this resource. But wait, it gets deeper. Watch this. Verse 14.
We made an invasion upon the south of the Cherethites, and upon the coast which belonged to Judah, and upon the south of Caleb. And we burned Ziklag with fire.
So not only did he was a part of burnt David's spot, but he burnt Judah's spot, which is his brothers, and the Shepherdites, who are other Israelites, spot. Do you realize that? So not only did he hurt him, but he hurt his fam too. What would you do in this moment? Many of you, but watch this. Verse 15.
And David said to him, Canst thou bring me down to this company? And he said, Swear unto me by God that thou wilt neither kill me nor deliver me into the hands of my master, and I will bring thee down to this company.
So listen, look at there, look at there. Them taking time to being a blessing for someone that seemingly didn't have anything to offer them has not only brought them to the location, but the exact place, way, the exact directions to how to get there. Living by faith when no one has faith in you. You know we got a precept there, D. Let me get Galatians 6 and 9. Living by faith when no one has faith in you. You think those same men that wanted to stone David, you think some of them right now are wanting that coming and saying, why in the world he's sitting here talking to this freaking Gentile, man? I got to go get my wife and my kids. You don't think he heard that? Galatians 6 and 9 and 10. Watch this.
And let us not be weary in well doing.
Let us not be weary in well doing.
For in due season we shall reap if we faint not.
If we faint not. Verse 10.
As we have therefore opportunity.
As we therefore have opportunity.
Let us do good unto all men.
Let us do what?
Let us do good unto all men.
Uh-huh.
Especially unto them who are of the household of faith.
You see that? You don't get days off, ladies and gentlemen, in this walk. You have to do the works. You have to walk by faith. You have to continue to do the works of Hamashiach, no matter if it's a good day or a bad day. You understand? Back to 1 Samuel 30. Watch this. Verse 16.
And when he had brought him down, behold, they were spread abroad upon all the earth, eating and drinking and dancing because of all the great spoil they had taken out of the land of the Philistines and out of the land of Judah.
So they down, the enemy down there turned up, thinking that all is well, not realizing that everything is about to come to an end. And that's the same way your enemies are. They think that with everything they've done to prevent you from getting what the Most High has for you is over. The devil thinks he has you, but it ain't going to work. Watch this. Verse 17.
And David smote them from the twilight even until the evening of the next day. And there escaped not a man of them, save 400 young men which rode upon camels and fled. And David recovered all that the Amalekites had carried away.
Read that again.
And David had recovered all that the Amalekites had carried away, and David rescued his 2 wives. And there was nothing lacking to them.
Read that again.
And there was nothing lacking to them.
Right.
Neither small nor great.
Right.
Neither son nor daughter. Neither spoil nor anything that they had taken to them. David recovered all.
David recovered all. And ladies and gentlemen, you shall recover all. Living by faith when no one has faith in you. Now tonight we'd like to give all praise and honor to Ahaya Bahashem Yeshaya, Royal Walk, for everything that took place on here tonight. We pray and hope that tonight that you was inspired, that you were encouraged, and that the Most High, through the help of the Holy Spirit, that we, through the help of the Holy Spirit, was able to impact you tonight. We know, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I don't want to be insensitive to anybody's problems, man. We understand that things get really hard. You know, that there are times when we feel like we just don't know we can make it. But you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that when Isaiah 54:17 talks about no weapon formed against you shall prosper, you need to understand that that's wasn't talking about anything what they talking about in the Christian church. This is talking about you, children of Israel. And if you are determined to be that remnant that escapes, you must be willing to live by faith, even when no one has faith in you. I know that sometimes it seems as if, man, that you're running up a treadmill, you know, running up a sandy hill, and you just feel like, man, you ain't gonna be able to get it. But I just want you to know, man, that it's all gonna pay off for you in the end. It's all gonna work out. Living by faith when no one has faith in you. So we just want you to know that we love you. We want you to know that we're praying for you, that we're here for you, and that if you need us, we will be here to counsel or to answer any questions for anybody need any further edification. Sunday at 11 o'clock, tomorrow at sundown, we will be beginning to observe the holy day of Feast of Tabernacle. We know that many other Israelites celebrate at different times. Like we always say, we're not here to argue about who celebrate what and when. We just happy to see our brothers and sisters celebrate the holy days. But we at the Better Day Ministry will be beginning our celebration the Saturday sundown to the next Saturday sundown. And so Sunday at 11 a.m., we will be going live and doing a teaching on the Feast of Tabernacle. And we don't have the opportunity to spend the whole week out as a family, as a ministry. But we got something planned for the last day. And we're going to tell you about that, what we're going to be doing. And we'll probably go live that night, that last day, as we celebrate the Feast of Tabernacle. But we're going to be doing on the history of it tomorrow on Sunday at 11 o'clock. We're going to give you an understanding of it, and we're going to give you, for those who this may be your first time observing it and you can't, go outside and all that, we're going to show you what it means now through Christ, because everything we do now we must do through Hamashiach. So, and showing you how relevant it is to us today. So be on the lookout for that. This Sunday morning at 11 a.m., we will be going live for our teaching on the Feast of Tabernacle. Dick, you got anything? So as we always say, ladies and gentlemen, and also Transformation Tuesday will be back this Tuesday at 7:30. So if you have any questions or something, that's our Q&A session. So if you do have any questions or anything that you want to contribute to that, hit us up over the weekend. Make sure, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to participate in the Q&A, that you get us the questions before Tuesday at 6:30 or 7 o'clock, because once the Q&A starts, you can't inbox me. I can't go to the inbox checking the questions. So make sure you get those questions in before we actually begin the Q&A, or you can ask the questions live if you desire to. But as we always say, ladies and gentlemen, continue to be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding to the work of the Most High. We want you to know that we love each and every one of you. We want you to know that we're here for you. And we want you to know that you can always count on us. We're praying for you. And if you continue to live by faith, you too shall wear a crown. Barakatah, Kwam Yasharala, Shalom.
They try to say I'm African, they ain't know I knew the truth of being taken from my land. Wish I I knew this knowledge before I had went to college. I ain't saying I would stop, but I would probably try harder. Known scholar to the world, we see pleasure in this thing. If Christ came, I wondered who be scribes and Pharisees. Fame came at a cost, misconstrued by the cross. They preach white Jesus to our forefathers. Most of the world is lost. A full congregation of dead saints. Iconoclasm pictures was white faces and really the right
Never
face.
came.
Leave it up to them, and they'll tell you it don't matter. Our people been destroyed, fed lies on a world platter. But we the ones, yeah, we stand up for truth though. If lion reach the heights,
They be tall as a new bull.
Crafty as can be, they story got lots of loopholes. I hope the truth free you, stir you up like some soup dough. Listen, I got something for you, I know you need that. My people been behind, how
We get lean back.
the kingdom is for you, this world could never beat that. The greatest people ever, man.
You gotta see that.
Oh, I want the kingdom, yeah, I really want to get the kingdom. I want to taste what it feel like to really get some freedom.
I've been relying on God, I really need him.
Our people starving for knowledge.
It's up to us to feed them.
We the teachers.
So we hope you enjoy the rest of your Sabbath.
Tell you to sow a seed for 'em.
Continue to be in prayer.
You knew better.
Share this lesson with your people.
Ain't catching, man.
And
I'm
know we here for you, man.
Slave mind, you forgot they put the noose on you. Sisters, don't
It's gonna
worry,
work
we
out.
ain't trying to make no moves on you. We gotta change.
You know it looks
man.
hard.
Time is running out.
You know it may be
Our people
difficult.
been fornicating and worried
But the
about
Most High
getting
got
caught.
us.
But no, it's the real
Continue to be
resolution. I'm
steadfast,
telling you. You think you
unmovable,
good now, this truth
always
will make
abound
you
to the
a
work of the Most
better
High.
you. This Bible is
Barak
for you,
Atah,
you know, now if
Kwam
you never
Yasharala,
know, you better than
Shalom.
the nations. God gave you a pedestal, yeah. God gave you a pedestal.